Hello everybody, welcome back to Pixie Woo. Today's video that I'm going to do for you is JLo from the Oscars 2012. Hope you enjoy. To start off with, I am going to put a little bit of colour into my skin, a little bit more colour, and I'm going to use Estee Lauder Day Wear Plus. And this is just a tinted moisturiser. I'm going to use my hands to apply this onto the skin. You need to make sure this is rubbed in well, because it will give your skin colour, but also it will leave a mark if it's not rubbed in brilliantly. I'm then going to add a little bit of Becca Radiance Primer. So this is going to prime the skin, but it also gives a radiant glow. If they don't do this one anymore, they do loads similar and they're fantastic. And I'm going to use a brush to work that into the skin. JLo always has that really glowing tone to her skin, so this is just going to allow that to come through. I'm then going to take Chanel Vitalumia Aqua and work that into the skin. JLo's skin almost looks like she's not wearing anything, so you need to make sure it's really buffed into the skin, and a good brush to do that with is a buffing brush, Real Techniques buffing brush, or you can go for a Real Techniques stippling brush. I prefer the buffing one so I can really work it into my skin. Just going to leave the foundation to really work into the skin and to show my skin through a little bit more before I powder it. If I was to powder it right now, it would look thick and cakey, so leave it for a while and move on to the eyes. I'm going to use a little bit of MAC Paint Pot in Painterly over the eyes first. I'm going to use my finger and get a little bit on there and just push it over the top of the eyelid. Now, in the pictures that I've seen, this is quite soon for me, recording this after the, well, it only happened this morning for us in England, the Oscars, and I can't find any pictures with her eyes shut. So, to me, with her eyes open, it looks like she's got a matte eyeshadow on, or matte eyeshadows, with something slightly shimmery goldy under the eye. So that's what I'm going to go for. I do apologise if it then turns out that she's got a slight shimmer on, but as long as I get the shape, you can adapt it to use a shimmery eyeshadow if you prefer. Okay, so I've just used Painterly as a primer all over the eye. I'm then going to get a little bit of MAC Brulee and seal that into place. So hopefully that should just stop the eyes from creasing. Now JLo has a very, very light tone through here that comes under the eye. Now I don't want to use a powder under the eye, so I'm going to leave the under eye and just use a little bit of MAC Vanilla through the brow bone. Using the same brush as I used before for the Brulee, I'm going to take Vanilla and just run that outwards on that brow bone. Next, I'm going to take a little bit of Espresso from MAC and a Louise Young 38B brush. So it's a really fine brush, and this eyeshadow goes right in the eye here and right the way round and out. So very 60s cut crease. Now remember not to go too far in here, keep this bit very clear. I'm then going to go in with a little bit of MAC Brun, which is this one here. Actually, I think I want a bit more warmth, so I'm going to go in with a bit of Mystery. Just got a tiny bit more red in it. With the same brush, and I'm going to just softly define that shadow even more. But literally on the lower part of it and just along the crease. Then I'm going to take a clean MAC 217 and blend the top of the eye so that it's not too harsh. I'm then going to take a little bit of MAC Fluid Line in Black Tracks and a Louise Young fine liner brush for a little bit of black liner. I'm also going to run that inside the eye. Just to make it a little bit thicker. Black it underneath the eye. Don't forget to do that if they're not the same first before you start amending it and correcting it, because sometimes the black is all you need inside the eye to make it look bigger. But I can see that I need to go a teensy bit higher through that part of the eye. I'm then going to take a Model Zone white liner pencil. Loads of brands do these, MAC do them, lots of brands. And I'm going to run that along the top of the liner. I'm then going to take a soft brush, and this is a MAC 219 brush, and just softly run that along that line. So it's not quite so harsh, but it's still noticeable. Then go back in with my vanilla and join those lines up. Next I'm going to take a little bit of MAC Power Surge and I'm going to run that underneath the eye. So this is the goldy tone that I spoke about. And I'll use the same brush, the MAC 219, just to soften that along. Now it doesn't look like she has anything inside the waterline, but I am going to add some mascara, and I've got High Impact Curling Mascara from Clinique. And that goes on top and bottom. And the bottom lashes. Okay, next for brows. JLo's brows look like she's hardly got anything through them, maybe a teensy bit of eyeshadow and a little bit of gel. So unfortunately mine aren't as full or as nice a shape as hers, so I'm going to have to add a little bit of eyeshadow. If you've got nice brows, don't worry about it too much. I'm going to use a little bit of Omega and maybe mixed with a little bit of espresso. But I'm going to use a MAC 219 brush to apply it. I'm going to start off with the Omega. Because I don't want it too perfect, that's why I'm using this brush. Just going to thicken the brows slightly. This is actually just Omega I'm using at the moment. I'm going to use a little bit of the espresso just in the back of the eyebrow where mine are very, there's not really much brow there. So my brows are so sparse. Not because I plucked them, they just are, they grow like that. So back with the Omega. I'm still just using Omega. A little tiny bit of espresso through the back of the brow, same as the other one. Right, back to the skin. You can see that the skin stayed put pretty nicely. My skin's slightly starting to show through, which I love. I'm then going to go on to a little bit of a Pam palette. This one is from Pam London, and I'm going to use this colour here, this really soft beigey pink colour. I'm going to take a Real Techniques Dome Shadow Brush and that eyeshadow, that cream, and run it in the very corner of the eye. So it's really going to take away any blueness that's there and lift the eyes slightly. I'm then going to take a Studio Finish concealer in NW20 and use that right the way up. So it's a little bit lighter than I am, because you'll see a lot of the celebrities go very, very light under the eye. Sometimes almost too light. But I think JLo's looked good. So I'm running that right the way up. I'm then going to take my Chanel bronzer. I know I always use it, but if you can find someone else that does one like it, I will use that one. But at the moment, for that dewy skin, Daniel Sandler's one's really lovely too, but it's got a little bit too much shining for this look. I am going to use it on the apples of my cheeks, however. So, take my bronzer, contour that down the back of the cheek, and I'm using a Real Techniques contour brush to do this. It's actually the same brush as I used to put on the primer. I'm going to run that a little bit round the hairline. And then on the apples of the cheeks, I'm going to add a little bit of Daniel Sandler Riviera cream blush. Bit of MAC Strip Down Lip Liner. Just really softly around the outside of the lip. I'm going to use my finger just to soften that. And then inside the lip I'm going to use a little bit of MAC Plush Glass. This one is in Big Baby. This look would not be complete without some false lashes, and I have some ready to wear Eyelure false lashes. These ones are pre-glued, so super quick and easy to use. You literally, this is the left, you literally take it off, look down, place it in the middle, easy, and feels really, really super comfortable. You can run some mascara over the top of them if you want, however I'm not going to because I like the look as it is. I am going to powder a tiny bit. I know JLo loves a shine, but I think it's just a teensy bit too much here and here. I like it on the cheeks, but not on the chin or the top of the head. And I'm going to use a little bit of Clinique Invisible Blend Powder. I'm going to take a tiny bit of shine out of my nose as well. And a tiny bit under the eyes. So there you have the finished JLo look. I hope you've enjoyed that, guys, and have a lovely day. Take care. Bye bye.